Hi, this is Jim Richter, and this video is for the Blues Mandolin social group at the Mandolin Cafe. And this week's lesson is looking at the playing of Rich DelGrosso, who is the recognized modern master of blues mandolin. This particular song, Get Your Nose Out of My Business, is from Rich's most recent solo album of the same name, and is a song that comes from the repertoire of Johnny Young, who I believe Rich was very influenced by. The song is in G, as many of Johnny Young's mandolin blues tunes are in, and Rich does a wonderful job of interpreting it and showcasing his unique perspective on blues mandolin. Some very classic things to pick up from it. One, it's a song with a very heavy shuffle that Rich plays incredibly well. And actually has, I know Rich is a very talented guitar player as well, and some of the approach is guitar-like, and I'll point that out. I think it also came across in Johnny Young's playing. I haven't heard it in Yanks and some others. I know it's very much in my particular playing, and it comes from playing guitar. But it opens up with 4 bars of what we around here call a lumpy rhythm. And it's this kind of bass pattern that goes, and so on and so forth. You would play that particular rhythm, and there are variations on it. But a very common bass pattern, which I always associate with Chicago, especially the West Side, because I would hear it a lot in the playing of Magic Sam, Otis Rush, guys like that, Buddy Guy. So it opens up with that, and Rich just throws in some very cool, unexpected phrasing in there, much like if you'll look at the tab, the 6th measure, while the end of the 5th, last 3 notes of the 5th, and then the beginning of the 6th, where he goes, which is cool because he's doing the 3rd and the 5th, which is the E, the G, and then the flat at 7th, the B flat of the C7 chord that he's going into. But then he rocks back to the G, which is 5th, but does this open A, which is the 6th. So he's really playing, not necessarily C6 chord, but wherever the A would be above the 7th, just B flat, like a 13th, something like that. One of y'all can help me out, my brain's not working. But it's a nice little touch. It's a note that you wouldn't necessarily expect because it falls outside of the G blues scale, at least the kind of minor pentatonic, and gives it a little bit more of a jazzier touch. A lot of the thing about the tab is that I find it very difficult to tab out rock songs and blues songs, especially songs that are very stylistic in nature, just because there's so many little things going on. Rich uses a lot of open strings to ring against chords that he's playing. I've tried to tab some of those. Things like measure number 9, I may have the rhythm off a little bit. It's very easy to tab out a fiddle tune where you've got straight 8th notes, and the playing's fairly simple, but in playing like this or trying to tab out Bill Monroe, some of Bill Monroe's stuff and the like, it's just very hard because there's little syncopations, little things that you hear that's really kind of hard for me to pick up. And since I'm a stylistic player anyway, it's awfully hard sometimes to try to get out of my particular bag to be able to hear what someone else is doing. So this is approximately close, it kind of gets you in the right positions for stuff. It's probably 90% accurate, and I'm going to give it to Rich to look over sometime, and maybe he'll correct it for me. So let's see. The last thing I want to talk about before I play it for you is, again, talking about this kind of guitar comping kind of thing that's going on. If you look at the pickup note in the very first measure, and if you look at for measures 1 through 4, the very last beat of each measure is an upstroke. So everything else is a downstroke coming down until you get to that, and it's kind of a scrape. So you got, and again, that's a heavy guitar thing. I know I've done it a lot in playing Texas blues, playing stuff in the styles of like Lightning Hopkins, the Vaughn Brothers, even guys like Freddie King and that are based out of Texas. You'll hear it in the Chicago guys as well. I mean, it's not exclusive to Texas, but I always think about that. So Rich has that kind of little scrape that's going up the pickup note before the first beat of those measures, and that comes in a few other times as well. I've places where the pick stroke wasn't necessarily that clear, I made sure to write it in because, again, it's important to get those upstrokes. The majority of it, where you've got the shuffle, where the alternating quarter note, eighth note, those are pretty much straight downstrokes. When you get a series of eighth notes, like you're looking at alternating picking. At least that's what I'm hearing. So let me play it through. I'll play it through one time up to speed. Hopefully I don't mess it up. And then I will play it slowed down for you. And thank you. And I may have the rhythm. An album. Well, hopefully you found this lesson useful. For further lessons, you can go to jimrichter.com, and please also check out mandolinblues.com, which is Rich DelGrosso's website. Rich, again, has this excellent solo CD. He also has some other CDs for sale, as well as his recent book with Mel Bay, From Beale to Maxwell Street, I believe, which is a book of mandolin blues study. So thank you for listening.